It's funny how a tiny town in the games can be so huge in the anime. I don't ever remember Littleroot being that big. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, episode 22 of the new Pokemon anime titled Farewell Raboot just dropped, and in this episode, it looks like Raboot may be better off without Go. Is he about to release it? Well, let's find out. This review here might be a pretty short one because, honestly, I don't have a lot to say about the episode itself. The episode split into two parts, the research that the guys are here to do, and the relationship between Raboot and Go. The first part is really just a setup for the second part. They're over in Littleroot to research the migration of the Beautiflies, and the main point of this ends up being that while they're looking for the Beautiflies, they come across a Zigzagoon that looks hurt, but when Ash goes over to help it, we see another Zigzagoon come over and try to steal his backpack, but it's stopped by Go's Raboot. When they run away, Raboot sees a couple more Pokemon like Lombre walk away too. Basically, it's a callback to what Raboot was doing when it was first found as a Scorbunny in Galar, trying to steal a backpack probably for food. And since Raboot was in that situation before, it recognizes that and it goes to help them. This is where the second part of the episode happens. Raboot sneaks out of the center at night to help those Pokemon, and then the next day, after Ash and Go find the nest of Silcoon that are going to evolve into a Beautifly that they can watch for the migration, Raboot has Go buy some apples, but it won't give him any. He doesn't understand why Raboot has started being so cold to him after evolving. The shopkeeper of the apples tells him that, oh, the Raboot's probably just in its rebellious phase. So, I have mixed feelings on this, but I'm going to save that for a bit later. Eventually, they do get to see the Silcoon evolve into Beautifly and fly away the next day, and both Ash and Go find it beautiful enough to the point where Ash doesn't want to battle anything and Go doesn't want to capture anything. And again, this is the same complaint I've made before, but I really don't like them distinguishing the characters like that. They're making it seem like Ash is just a battler, Go is just a Pokemon catcher, and that really shrinks the scope of your story because we know from the past series that Ash is more than just a battler. Anyways, since the Raboot has sneaked out a couple of nights in a row and Go knows about it now, Go gets Ash to help him find out why. It turns out it's because Raboot is helping those Pokemon from earlier not only get food by giving them the apple that Go bought, but also it's teaching them how to dance because, as we find out, they're fighting over territory through dance battles with Loudreds. Also, Go sees that when he is helping these Pokemon, Raboot looks happy unlike when he's with him. It's not long until Go wants to help out Raboot, so him and Ash make a beat and help the Scorbunny dance and presumably win. Or more likely, it probably ended up being that both the Lombre, the Zigzagoons, and the Loudred decided to live together in the same territory instead of fighting over it. That's most likely what happened. Either way, that's not the main point of that. What we do get to see is that the next day when they're about to leave, because this is their fourth day in the trip, it seems like this is going to be the conclusion to Go and Raboot's relationship as Go leaves Raboot behind with the other Pokemon and doesn't tell it that it's leaving because it seems so happy. While Go says that he's fine with that, Ash questions if he told Raboot, which Go didn't. This causes Go to realize he probably didn't want to leave Raboot, so he runs to the back of the train calling for it, but no, it's too late. Or so you're made to think. Raboot just casually walks in from another car and gives Go an apple. When he takes a bite from it and hands it back, Go sees the Raboot smiling while eating it, and he's happy that that's the case, so they're staying together. He takes a picture of them together, and that's the end of the episode. So, this episode in a vacuum is fine, but here's my issue with the whole it's in its rebellious phase thing. First of all, let me just say that I have no problems with a Pokemon's personality changing after it evolves. It's happened before, so whatever, it's not that big a deal. My issue with it is that because of the episode where the evolution of the Scorbunny took place, it felt like there was a story to tell there that was never told. And that's not just me. If you look at Twitter or other people's review on that episode, which I believe was episode 17, they feel the same way. What happens is that in that episode, the episode ends really abruptly with a Team Rocket battle and the evolution leading to the personality change. But the rest of the episode is about Go and Scorbunny having a massive argument over their philosophical differences. Go being someone who just believed that you just do what you can and you don't do what you can't, while Scorbunny's out here trying to improve himself, make himself a better fire type who can use a fire move. Remember in that episode, that was a massive argument and was the main plot of that episode for the most part. Their fight in that episode got so bad that it took a battle with Team Rocket to resolve it. But I guess to the show creators, their relationship was fixed from that one battle after Go helped it use Pyro Ball. And maybe that was the intention, but since the evolution and the personality change happens right after that battle, we don't know if that's the actual reason why. The episode tells us it's because it's evolved, but because the last thing we saw before the evolution is the fight, we're left with more questions than answers. And to make it worse, Go looks supremely bad here in this episode because he doesn't even tell his Pokemon that he's leaving. For all of the time people make fun of Ash releasing all of his good Pokemon, Ash always lets his Pokemon know that he's leaving, and it's usually to try to make them happy. And while Go had the same intention, he didn't pull it off the same way because he just left his Pokemon like that. That makes him look like a really bad trainer. Ish. That being said, I don't think this episode is bad either. It does have a lot of good things for it. For example, I love the metaphor of the Beautiflies being something so beautiful, you just leave it alone, even though that was probably the same line of reasoning that caused Go not to tell Raboot he was leaving. It really does work as great symbolism for the episode. The Beautifly flying away free after evolving. Not only that, but this episode got some wonderful animation by Takeshi Minami, who animated the dancing portions of this episode, which looks great. I'll also add that the music when the Beautiflies are flying away, I'm pretty sure is a new bit of composition, and that sounds really nice. So, in a vacuum, this isn't a bad episode. It's just that when you look at the lead up to this episode, it feels a bit shallow because you feel like it misses telling a story. It misses the previous fight as the reason for the behavior, which is something that everyone would understand and be able to relate to. Instead, it chooses to go to a safer route, and I think that's really for the worse. I guess the answer to the question ultimately, was I happy with the resolution of this Go and Scorbunny plot? Even though it didn't go the way I was hoping it would, I would have to say yeah. I think that the Go and Raboot pairing is really good, so it would have been dumb to break that up. I know they weren't ever going to, but I'm just saying it really is for the better. And you know what? Ultimately, if this allows Go to become a better person, a better character by giving him more personality, having him understand his Pokemon better, I think the show is better for it. The next episode won't be next week. We actually don't know when the next episode will be because the anime production is going to be on hiatus due to the pandemic. But regardless of how long it takes to come back, I want to thank the anime for everything it's given us. It can't be easy having to work on a show for 20 years straight with very few breaks, so even though this does suck, I hope they take this time to recharge and come back better than ever. The next episode, if it did air, would have been about something causing the Sakuragi Park Pokemon to go crazy. And my theory is that it's a Morpeko that we saw in the ARC preview a while back. But I guess we'll have to wait and find out. But anyways, that's it for my review of episode 22 of the Pokemon Journeys anime. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think of this episode. You can follow me on Twitter at TheRealPDGaming. And that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.